everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Montefusco and I'm a lover of all things when it comes to makeup, fragrance, fashion, and beauty. And today I want to do an eyeshadow palette tag. So there's this eyeshadow palette tag. It's called the Eyeshadow Palette Tag 5000. I will tag the original creator and video down in my description box, of course. And basically, she has come up with a bunch of different new and interesting questions about eyeshadow palettes that we all have in our collections. And basically, I just want to do this, show off some eyeshadow palettes that maybe I haven't talked about on my channel because it's been like a year since I posted consistently. And also, maybe you'll be reminded of some of my old favorites that I've talked about a lot on this channel before. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. All right, so if you see me looking over to the side, it's basically because I am looking at the different questions on my laptop. But we'll get started with question number 1, which is a palette that I wore on a special occasion. And this one is definitely that palette. So this is the signature palette from Vanity Makeup Cosmetics. It's actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. It's basically my favorite true neutral palette in my collection. So this palette is just so user-friendly. It's so pretty, lots of warm neutrals, a little bit of cool tone neutrals as well. You got all your mattes on the top, all your metallics on the bottom. But my 3 favorite metallics, which I've talked about this palette a ton on my channel, are the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th metallic, because it's like this really unique, just like drier, more flaky, more shiny metallic formula. It's really beautiful. Actually, I'm wearing this shade is the only metallic on my eyes today. And as you can tell, it looks really pretty. So this palette I actually wore on my first day at work of my new job. And so I consider that a special occasion. It was what made me feel really confident on my first day at my new job, which I started about 4 months ago. So yeah, that's a special occasion and this is what I wore and it made me feel very confident. All right, question number 2 is a palette that I love, but I find repetitive, and I'm going to go for the Natasha Denona Retro palette with this one. So this palette, you just get a bunch of berries. It's pretty, the formulas are great. It's that good Natasha Denona formulas that we know and love, but I mean, you're basically gonna get 1 to 2 looks out of this, and that's pretty much it. Your metallics are very similar, and these metallics, the shades Glitz and the shade Psychedelic, it's those like really shiny metallics in here. Those are my favorite metallics. The other ones are fine, but they're more like satiny shimmers, and I prefer like a bam metallic. So if I'm gonna use a metallic, it's gonna be one of those 2, and those are just pinks. If you're gonna deepen it up, you got berries basically. If you want a mid-tone in your crease, you got maybe a rosy brown, maybe just like another rosy color. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what this palette gives. So it's pretty if you like rosier tones on your eyes, which I do. I love a good pinky kind of eye look, but you're gonna get the same like 2 to 3 looks with this, and that's okay. All right, number 3, a palette I got my money's worth. I have to talk about this one. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I got this palette on a flippin' steal. So I don't know if they sell this anymore. If they do, and you don't have it and you like the colors, which I'll show you soon, get it because it's great. But basically this was on sale for half off on the Sephora website, and then it was the Sephora sale, and I'm Rouge, so I got an additional 20% off. So I got this for a steal. And basically this palette is just perfect pastel color pops and like neutral goodness. This is the good Huda Beauty formula. I find that her smaller palettes in her main collection, I'm not sure about the Wishful collection or whatever she has, the more natural beauty one, but in her main Huda Beauty line, the smaller palettes, the formula's not the same. These bigger palettes, this is where the good formulas are. These mattes are just so easy to work with. The shimmers are just absolutely stunning. Like, I'm not sure if you can see some dips in here, but like this white shade, I got a lot of dips in there. These metallics on these top row, like the blue and the purple, I got a lot of dips in there. Like, this is just a great palette. I love using it for spring and summertime. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love these pops of color, and I love the neutrals in here. I just really can't complain about this. And the fact that I got this for over half off, I have definitely gotten my money's worth out of this. All right, so a palette that's an amazing deal. I feel like Glamlight has like good deals when it comes to their eyeshadow palettes. So this is one of their eyeshadow palettes. This is the Scooby-Doo Rut-Row eyeshadow palette. This is actually currently on sale on their website. I believe this retailed for about $20 when it came out. Now it's on sale for like 12 or 10. So if you like this color story, get on it. Like, it's a really good deal right now. And it was a good deal to begin with. So this is what the color story looks like. And personally, this reminds me of the It's Freaking Bats palette from Shroud Cosmetics and Batty Bean here on YouTube, their collab. But personally, I like these formulas more. And actually, I have the It's Freaking Bats palette right next to me. So I'm going to show you just like a little comparison of these colors. Look at that. Look at that. They're very similar tones, in my opinion. Very, very, very similar. So you got those like chartreusey greens, you got those like bright blues, you got that deep berry. It's just a very similar color story. And they're both are like spooky themes. So I think this is the better formula. These metallics are just shinier and better and creamier. I find these mattes easier to work with. And for like $12, which is what it's on sale right now, like this is just a perfect palette for like the fall and the spooky season, which is coming up. So yeah, I think this is a really good deal. Next up, palette I love the quality of, but I hate the packaging. I gotta talk about this one. This is the Dragon Fruit palette from Cleon Cosmetics with their collaboration with Emily Violet Marie, who's a YouTuber. I love this palette, but as you can tell, it is taped up because it broke very shortly after I got it. These hinges are just completely detached from this palette. So my partner put on some like electrical tape on this thing and now it's usable and like it can close. But yeah, it is like super broken. So that's why I hate the packaging, because it's very broken. But this is what the palette looks like. It's all metallics. These are all stunning, stunning metallics. Cleona just has a great formula in general, but these are just so beautiful. And I really love this for the summer times. I love combining bright chartreusey greens with like pinks and purples. It just makes for a really fun, juicy, fruity, kind of summery look. And I've been using that a lot for this, for that kind of look. I used it a lot last summer for that. I've used it a lot this summer for that. But the fact that this packaging just completely destroyed itself on me, and I never dropped this palette, I did not treat it roughly. I just think this packaging just shatters really easily, this plastic packaging. I know, I don't like the packaging, but great formulas. All right, the next question is show my dream palette with singles. I pretty much already have this in my collection. This is Terra Moon's Cosmetics Magnetic Palette. And on the inside, I have a ton of their iridescent, I'm not sure if these are technically multi-chromes, but I think they call these like iridescent chameleon shadows. I basically have like almost all of them that I think they've released. They are stunning. They are beautiful. These are the perfect inner corner brow bone shade for me, like all the dang time. So basically just having a palette of these special indie colors, that is what I really love. So I'm happy I have this. These two on the bottom corner right here that are all alone, those are not from Terra Moon's. These are from, I think, Glamlight Cosmetics. I'm not really a fan of those two shadows at all. They are nothing compared to the Terra Moon's ones. Those are just beautiful, special, metallic, iridescent goodness. So yeah, this is like my dream palette of singles, which I already had assembled, so it's perfect. I realized I skipped a question. I did one out of order, so we're going to do it now. This was supposed to be before the Cleona one, so before Love the Quality but Hate the Packaging. So this is Quad I Love, but I wish it was a larger palette. And I'm gonna go for this one. This is from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics, and this is their Shimmer Saga, blah, blah, blah. That is hard to say. This is their Shimmer Saga Quad. And basically these are just 4 very special, beautiful, glittery metallics. They're so creamy, buttery, smooth. Ugh, they're just gorgeous. And I love these. I love this formula. I love these colors. I love how they look on the eyes, and I wish it was more than 4. Like some people are matte. They love their mattes. They love their matte eyeshadows. They could live without glitter, shimmer, all that, but they need their mattes. I'm the opposite. Give me all the glitter and shimmery eyeshadow and I can live without mattes. I cannot live without shimmer. I cannot live without glitter. So if there was just like an expanded version of this, maybe with like, it was like a 10 pan or an 8 pan eyeshadow palette with just this formula, I would be extremely happy. So I wish this was larger. All right, back on track. So palettes I like to combine together. I want to talk about these two palettes. So this is the Natasha Denona Mini Glam. I really like the mattes in here. The metallics do not really impress me. They're not that shimmery, shiny, sparkly, textured kind of metallic I like, but the mattes are great and they're extremely neutral. Like, I feel like these are very neutral, leading neutrals. They are not warm toned. They are not cool toned. These are true neutrals. So they go with a lot of things. And then this palette I adore. This is from Bobbi Brown and this is their Luxe Eyeshadow Quad. I believe this came out for holiday. I'm not sure if this is available anymore. I really hope it is because these formulas are wonderful. So I got this based on Lauren May Beauty, I think it was her recommendation. And these three like super shiny metallic looking shades, oh, they're so pretty. So I just love to put like this one in the inner corner in the brow bone, this one or this one all over the lid. This one, Metal Rose, it's pretty, but it's nothing like super special. It's these like really textured, glimmery, shimmery, beautiful ones that I love. So like 3/4 of this palette, chef's kiss, 1/4, it's okay. But combining that with the Natasha Denona mattes, I feel like is a really easy, good, fun, neutral kind of look. All right, and the next question is a large palette that I wish was smaller. I gotta go for this one. So Bella Beauty Bar, if you have not been checking out their recent eyeshadow palettes, what are you doing? Because wow, their formula is phenomenal, especially their shimmers. So this is their Pastel Garden palette, which I have been obsessed with during the spring and the summer this year. And this is what it looks like, basically all your pastel needs, but there are definitely some repetition and repeating shades in here that you just don't need. Some of these pinks look the same on the eyes. The two yellows look the same on the eyes. Some of the bluish purples look the same on the eyes. Some of the greens look the same on the eyes. Some of the blues look the same on the eyes. I feel like all these metallics are unique and deserve a place in here, but these mattes could definitely be cut down. A lot of these look very similar on the eyes, and then it could be a smaller palette, and then that would be nice. I don't really reach for huge palettes normally all that often. I just don't have that many in my collection. But when it comes to a formula like this, I'm willing to take up the space to keep this in my collection, but I do wish it was a little bit smaller. All right, and the last question, which is an eyeshadow palette that I wish had a matching face palette. I didn't grab one for this, and I'll tell you the reason why. I don't really use face palettes. I just don't. When I think of face palette, I think of the classic like 2016, 2017, 2018 face palette, which was like, it has your all-in-one, it has your bronzer, it has your contour, it has your highlighter, it has your blush, and everything. I never use those kinds of face palettes because I just want to grab a separate bronzer or contour to my blush. I just don't want it all in one. Your girl is pale. Most of those contours and bronzers and those palettes are also way too dark for me. So it just doesn't work. And then, I guess face palettes nowadays can be like, oh, it's an all blush face palette, or it's an all highlighter face palette, or it's a blush and highlighter face palette. And I just don't really reach for those either. Like, I have some blush and highlighter palettes in my collection, and they're pretty and they're nice. And when I do reach for them, I enjoy them. But when do I reach for them? Not very often. So I was like, you know what? I don't have an eyeshadow palette that I wish had a face palette that accompanied it because I just don't use face palettes. All right, so that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this, seeing some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I just love in my collection and tend to reach for and have used and that fall into these categories. If you want to do the same tag, feel free to. I think tags are a lot of fun. I'd love to see if you all have channels and if you all do the same tag. So yeah, if you like this video, please like this video. If you like me, please subscribe. I will be posting videos when I have the time. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.